Everybody being here. Thanks for all your coverage. Thanks for all your time commitments, especially during the holiday weekend. I appreciate that. So you got to give Wisconsin a lot of credit. Very, very good football team. Paul Chryst, one of the best coaches in the country. Phenomenal, phenomenal football team. Very disciplined, very good, very deep, and very talented. They've done this to pretty much everybody they've played, and tonight was no different. Very, very good football team, and one of the best football teams I've played against in a long time. So got to give them credit. Coach Chryst is a class act. Wonderful football coach. And it goes all the way back. Compliments to Barry Alvarez of what he created back in 1990 and the vision and the dream he had. And the ability to keep that culture continually to sustain over the years has been pretty special to watch. So I know they're our rival. I know we're not supposed to talk about them, but when you have a great team, an elite team like that, I mean, that's what it's all about. And that's what we're working to get to. So we got to get there. We've got a long way to go. Long way to go. At the end of the day, we kind of ran out of people. I would say that probably the last few games. I mean, just as you continue to see guys come in on the field with no experience, they did a tremendous job of playing us in man coverage. And you got four wideouts out there. They're all freshmen and haven't played much football. And we had moments to create opportunities and make plays, and we didn't make plays. And then we'd have a few plays happen. We'd get sacked. And we'd have to punt. The kickoff return was huge. The missed field goal in the first half was huge. Got to be able to execute. When you don't execute, that's what happens. And then when you play a game like that and play a team like that, eventually they make you catch up, and then it's too far out of reach, and then there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, they suffocate you after that point, and that's what happens. So we didn't take advantage of the opportunities we had, and we knew that we'd have to be able to play close to perfect to beat them, at least take care of the execution of the opportunities we had, and we didn't do that. So I got to give them a lot of credit. They're a very deserving football team, and apologize to everybody that the outcome wasn't what we all wanted, and that all 100% falls on me.
PJ, when you start with 5 straight 3-and-outs, does that just put too much pressure on your defense to be on the field that long?
It does. 100%. You can't do that. But again, we have to create separation. We talk about our pass game. They have really good players that can create separation, make plays when they're contested. We've got to continue to recruit. We've got to continue to develop. And I think you saw a major strength difference. But again, when you have 22 of your impact players miss an entire offseason and come back in August, towards the end of the year, there's nothing to pull from. So this offseason is incredibly important to us. But you got to thank our seniors. They've given everything they had to this university, this culture. I appreciate them buying in and giving everything they had. But again, it just wasn't enough tonight.
When you guys start recruiting tomorrow, does this game kind of show you where you guys have to get to?
Yeah, the one thing I love about games is people say we could have did this, could have did that, should have done this, should have done that. We are exactly where we are. That's the reality. Whether people want to ignore that or talk about years past or talk about this or that, we are exactly where we are. And I'm hired to fix it. And we'll fix it. Recruiting, development, strength and conditioning, that's what we'll do within our program. The guys that stay will be champions.
How far is this from being where you at least deem it to be acceptable or want it?
Well, this was unacceptable tonight. Period. The actual performance tonight, unacceptable. There's no way that we're going to look like that next year. But when you start talking about where we are as a team, remember my first year as a head coach, we were 1-11, and it didn't seem you couldn't even see the light at the end of the tunnel. And then if you did see the end of the light of the tunnel, it wasn't the end of the tunnel; it was a train coming at you. So the next year we flipped it to 8-5. I'm not saying that's going to happen immediately, but we won 5 games. We were 1 game away from bowl eligibility. There is no moral victories. It's unacceptable. But we are exactly where we are. We got exactly what our work deserves. That's what football does to you. From a coach, starting with me. I didn't do a good enough job coaching them. Fact.
Coach, coming in, did you think you might be able to throw a little bit more than you were able to?
We had to. We knew we weren't going to be able to run the football very effectively based on what they were doing, right, and what they were able to be able to create for us. The past game, we had to be able to throw the football, and you saw a bunch of plays in the beginning. I don't even know. We had Rodney Smith was our leading receiver. and Will Rieger, who I love Will a lot. And, he's done a lot for this program. And he's a senior, and, he's junior/senior, however you want to look at it. And hope he sticks around, but if he doesn't, then, but again, we had 3 receivers with catches. I mean, you're not going to win a football game that way. But those are our issues, and we're going to fix those issues.
Surprised by what has transpired here? I mean, from the time that you took this job, is the results of the year surprising to you, or not really?
Not at all. Not at all. No, I mean, we took over a program back in January that people can say whatever they want to say about it, but you're hired for a reason. And, there's so many other things that, as a head football coach, that you look at and you have access to and that you see every day that the normal person does not see. But again, it doesn't surprise me because it is exactly what it is. You start talking about, when a new coach comes in, if you look at any staff across the country for the most part, and you start looking at guys that lost their job and guys that took over, that's very difficult. I've made this comparison before. It's like having 3 different stepdads in 3 different years and not knowing who to trust. And then have this stepdad be this, okay, now one area of life was really important. Well, here comes every area of your life. Now we're in all your business. And the accountability factor goes way up. And now all of a sudden everybody's held accountable for their actions. Coaches, players, everybody. And I'm not saying that wasn't before. I'm just saying from our culture. And you have guys staying, going, leaving, graduating, transferring, suspended, quitting. That's all a tough transition for young people. And so every day the team was evolving. You had players that were bought in right away. You had people that were bought in 6 months later. You have maybe some people who haven't bought in even yet. That's hard. Year ones are very difficult. And you look around the country and all those year one coaches, for the most part, not all, they hover around that average 5, 6, 7 wins, like right around there. We won 5 games, regular season. That's 3 less from last year. I don't compare those wins. We are exactly where we are, and we have to fix every issue that's there. But we also have a lot of guys that started the year that aren't playing, that are our best players. And we didn't have a ton of best players to begin with. And when you lose those guys, I thought our guys fought and played tremendously well at a lot of times in the second half of the season. We lost 4 really close games. Man, if we win those, what's the difference? They're close games, right? Close games. And we just weren't good enough to finish those games out, starting with me.
For the first half, the defensive line.
Hold on, yeah, Andy's got a question here. He didn't play today. I'll reevaluate that this week.
I was just going to say, for the first half, I thought your defensive line was pretty sound.
We did. I thought we played really well in the first half. Again, we just ran out of people. We're not deep enough. We're not. We don't have enough deep players that we can rotate in there and sub people and get the same effectiveness out of them. I thought our offense didn't stay on the field long enough to give our defense a chance.
Coach, when you look at this team and the players that are coming back, how many of them do you think that you can win with, and how many do you think you need to develop more or recruit to replace?
Those who stay will be champions. I wish I had a number for you, Andy. I really do. I'll reevaluate the entire football team. I do every year. Players, coaches, everybody, and our schemes, everything about how we continue to get better. But again, we continue to put ourselves in a position to give ourselves the best chance to win every week. I mean, that was obviously a loss that's hard to swallow. But again, everything we did was to be able to give ourselves the best chance to win. But when you play a team like that, when you don't execute it, it's going to be very hard to have success.
So when you look at the 9 pass attempts, do you think the biggest key is receivers not getting separation there?
Well, I think it's one of the things. I think there's multiple other things because we were getting a lot of pressure too. Okay, and you can only double team so much. You can only double team so many areas. And then you got to leave somebody on an island. You got to leave 2 or 3 guys on an island. And then all of a sudden we'd move the ball, and then that's what I meant. We'd get sacked. So eventually it's like, okay, how many 2nd and 17s do we want to have? Right? And we have to be able to play smart too. You don't want it to be 60 to nothing.
Did your offense look entirely different personnel-wise next year?
It'll look very different.
I mean, it has to, right?
In terms of personnel? Well, yeah, it will. I mean, there's going to be a lot of additions that come in here and play. Like I said, though, we're going to get, people can say I say this as a broken record. I am. I am. We are going to get younger before we get more experience. And the 2018 class is our first true big recruiting class to bring in. We're excited about them. We got to finish them up here in the next few weeks. And they should look at an opportunity to come in here and play. They really should. I mean, that's the exciting part about it. You know, but 3 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, you're sitting there, we scored 54 points. You know, I mean, we showed what we can or are capable of doing. Then we showed what we're capable of turning have 5 turnovers and not scoring any points. And then tonight, when a kickoff return gets called back, you miss 2 field goals, you drop passes that hit you in the face mask. You know, we don't send guys in motion when they're supposed to be in motion. We get beat around the edge on single blocks. We have to get stronger. But again, a lot of these guys, remember, 22 of these guys, not excuse, just reality, strength and conditioning, they've been in that strength and conditioning type program for a very, very long time. We have to bring that cultural sustainability, and that's what we're here to do. And that's what we're committed to doing. But those 22 guys, I mean, those off-season surgeries, they really didn't practice, you know, until training camp. Let alone a whole new system, let alone a whole new development, strength and conditioning. So, but again, this all falls on me. It's 100% me. I'm the leader of this boat, and it starts with me in terms of the decisions I have to make, where we're going forward, what we have to continue to do. But again, when you haven't done something in 50 years, it's not like you're just going to keep doing the same things. It's a drastic change. And sometimes that change, you got to take a little dip.
How would you characterize the mood in the locker room after this one? Was there anyone in particular that was taking it harder than most?
You know, those guys aren't taking it very well, especially the seniors, knowing that it's their last game, that they controlled their own destiny to go to a bowl game the last few weeks. But again, that's not just the ultimate goal. We played a top 5 team, and we proved that we're not capable of beating a top 5 team today. That's what that proved. That doesn't mean that's going to not happen in the future, because we will be better. We will be better.
Coach, with that tough offensive game today, how did you feel about Rodney's play, accounting for kind of most of those yards?
Rodney Smith does what Rodney Smith does. You know, but when he's your only playmaker on offense, everybody knows that. That's not hard. Paul Chris is one of the best football coaches in America. It's not like you surprise him like, oh, Rodney Smith, he's a pretty good player. He knows exactly what's coming. And we've got to get more around them. And that's what's on its way.
Okay, thank you guys.
You got it. Thank you, everybody. Row the boat, Sky Go Gophers. Thank you.